Yeah, I've been a fan for quite a long time. I started watching the show in 2016. So,
Okay, so just a couple years after
Yeah.
it
yeah,
started. And
yeah.
are you a huge Jamie fan?
I like Jamie,
Uh
but
oh. Okay.
I he's not like my
We
top
need variety
favorite.
here. It can't just be
Really?
Jan
So
Hope and he
who's your
takes his
top? I
shirt
want
off
to
and
know.
pants
We
off.
have to get rid of her. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no,
I'm
no.
sorry.
We can
Out of here.
commiserate over Charles Vandervaart. Can you get on board with Charles
Oh
with
yeah, I
me?
can get on board
Thank
with
you.
Charles Vandervaart. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Jan, listen to you.
Jan.
I do really like Jamie, but he's not like my number one.
That's
Well,
okay.
there's a definite age difference, so I'll give you that.
We're all older than all of them. I don't know what. Yeah,
I know.
because
Yeah.
except for Alex, we're all older than Sam. We're all
Yeah.
older than. Are we all older than Katrina? Yeah, we're all older than Katrina.
Yeah.
We old fogies. I'm the
Yeah.
youngest of the old fogies, though. I'm going to claim
Well,
that if it's cool.
I'm glad you have started watching us. How did you find Katie?
No, no. How did you find
Uh,
Outlander? Way more interesting a story, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. But
well,
how
I
did you
found
find? How did you
I
find?
found Katie at Sassenach this past Sassenach.
Oh, great.
Sassenach over here, too.
Yeah, and then the show. My parents happened to watch the show called Black Sails. That was
Yeah.
also
Oh,
on Stars,
yeah.
Mhm.
I like that show.
and they saw a commercial for it.
Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
they thought that it would be a show that I would be interested in.
Yeah.
So then, I started watching it, and the rest was history.
So, do you watch the show with your parents?
No, not
Okay, good.
anymore. I mean, I haven't lived with my parents for a long time. I watch it on my own, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There are some scenes there that I would not want my
Yeah.
dad sitting next to me
No,
while I'm watching it. No. And
no.
he used to take me to the movies a lot when I was a kid. And then he started going, you know what, Katie, I'm just going to drop you off at the movies because,
Yeah.
like the
It's
PG 13
awkward.
stuff was fine when I was like 5 and had no idea what anything. But like once I
Right.
hit puberty, I think he was worried I might ask him a question. And no.
I understand. I don't even like watching Outlander with anybody in the room with me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just kind of like
Yeah.
watch it by myself.
Me and my
I-
son
Yeah.
have watched it together.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And he
Goodness.
watches it by
You watched
himself, actually.
certain ones, though, did
He
you?
watches it by himself and then comes and asks me questions about it.
Oh,
Okay.
See, and that's why my dad doesn't want to watch that kind of stuff
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
So we have conversations about what's going on screen. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm like,
all right.
okay.
Yeah,
Maybe the
my married
mother-son-
watches it with his
Okay.
wife.
Okay. See, and I tried to watch it with my husband, but he doesn't like subtitles and he couldn't understand what they were saying. So
Oh.
he can
Yeah.
understand me, so I don't know.
Do you, Alex? Do you turn the subtitles on?
actually, no, I don't. I'm weirdly good at like understanding
Okay.
all accents, so I can understand what
Yeah.
they're saying.
I used to be in that same position, and then my hearing started going, and I couldn't pick up the nuances. So subtitles are just a lot. Just make it easier.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
Well, I think we have a good start here. I went live, by the way. Everybody's been listening to us babble
Oh,
about
okay.
how we watch
Babble.
naughty things with our
I
sons,
figured
and
that
Jackie's
much.
cool with it.
Yeah, that's usually normal.
We are here talking about Outlander Season 1, Episode 13, The Watch. And this is not really one of my favorite episodes, but quite a bit
Yeah.
happens to kind of move
Yeah.
the story along to
Yeah.
next week's, which is one of my favorite ones. So let's just get into it here. We've got some visitors at Lollybrock. It's so nice to entertain friends. What did you think about the introduction? Because we sort of get them at the end of episode 12, but we will really get what's happening
Right.
until this episode. So
Right.
the introduction, what about the existence of the watch? What do you think about, like, historically? Isn't that just, it's odd that they have this, like, rogue group going through that protects and steals? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they
how
kind of do
that-
both. I just don't
Yeah.
get. I guess I really didn't understand that because
No.
they mentioned them in a couple episodes previous to this,
Yes.
when Jamie was, I don't know, I don't think they were married yet, and they come across these people burning down this guy's house because they're taking stuff.
Right.
I'm like, so
Yeah.
what is going on? What are they doing?
I mean,
Yeah.
So they protect him from one person, kind of like what Jamie says in this show. So you pay one bad guy to protect from another bad. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
I'd
Kind
rather
of
be
like the
robbed by our
mafia.
own countrymen than redcoats. I have that.
Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
dip? I mean, I don't
I think
know.
it's
Yeah.
One's better than the other. I don't know.
it's kind of like the mafia,
There you go.
you know,
Yeah.
in a way when you think about it. But it's, things were really difficult back then, and any way that they could make any kind of money, I'm sure, I mean, it was, I can't even imagine how hard it was to, make any kind of living.
Yeah.
So, and, there was no like money. There was silver and gold, kind of
Well,
like,
they had minted coin, but yeah,
yeah,
I know what
but
you mean.
where they lived though in the Highlands, I don't think that they normally had money, did they?
Well, they were paying taxes with coins.
Okay, that's true.
Mhm.
Right.
So I mean, there had to be some sort of. It might not have looked as fancy as our quarters and nickels, and aren't we fancy?
Right.
But
They had some
Yeah.
kind of currency.
yeah, they were
Yeah, you're right.
cast.
But again, it was, again, I'm sure it was hard for anybody to make a living. So they're just all they're connivers. They're trying to figure out a way to, fill their stomachs,
And
basically.
it kind of reminds me of Robin Hood. They steal from the rich to kind of give to the poor, and
Yes.
that's kind of what these people are doing. They're stealing from one thing and then giving, and helping someone else. I mean, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
whole thing there, Weird.
I was going to say too, the wig that Jamie has on is looking better as season has moved on, like
Yeah.
right now. I'm
I think
watching.
that's his real. What are you talking about? What wig?
Because the second season. Oh no, they colored it. Okay, I'm trying to remember. I'm so sorry. I'm getting my wig
I
facts
don't think that's
backwards.
his real hair, Jackie.
Oh, in season 1 it was, yeah.
He colored
Yeah, in
it
season
for a
one, I
while.
believe
They
He
it
didn't
was.
get
dyed
the
it the
wig
whole
until
season,
later.
like
Really?
over
Yeah.
2 seasons actually. I think.
Yeah, because I think it was up until the middle or the end of season 2 that it's
Ooh,
his
holy,
hair
yeah,
dyed.
that's his real hair, and they dyed it and
Okay.
permed it to make it more
Well,
curly and to make
anyway,
it red.
Yeah.
it looks a lot better right now.
Yeah.
I'm watching them right now.
It could
Me
be that they
too.
changed the type of coloring they used because the type of color you use can
Maybe.
really affect the look and feel of your hair.
True.
Yeah.
So that might be possibly part of it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
could be.
it's a weird situation though, I think, because they're all like sitting around at dinner having a nice meal with these folks. But even Jenny, I mean, they're like they hit all of the good alcohol, the good tobacco. She
Yeah.
I think locks up and hides her jewelry while they're there. It's
Yep.
not like they are
Trust these people?
welcoming them in as best pals come chill
No.
out.
No,
Yeah, I
not at
know.
all. They tolerate them there. At least
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah.
I think Ian enjoys their company more than Jenny does. Totally.
That much, yeah. And again, and
Yeah.
Ian does talk about why, and that makes sense. I mean, he's basically surrounded by women and little kids at home.
Yep.
I was
So
just gonna
having
say.
yeah,
Mhm.
and so having a comrade. I mean, I'm here with my 9-year-old and my husband, who I love dearly, but I love going to conventions because there's other people, and
Right.
they want to talk about things
Yeah.
I want to
And
talk
they
about.
want to, yeah, and they
Right.
want to talk about things that I like.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, as an old soldier who just wants to be able to sit down and have a whiskey and talk about the old days when we used to be
Yep.
young and tough, I can totally see why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets something out of this
Yeah.
personally.
And Jenny doesn't. Jenny doesn't trust them at all. And that's why she hides everything, and it's not that pleasant to them. You know what I mean? She does
Yeah.
some underlining kind of digs, I think, which is kind of funny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's honest about it and they take it.
Yeah.
They understand. I think they
Yeah.
understand their place with her and she understands her place with them. Give
Correct.
some stew. We'll pay you for the hay we burnt. And honestly, the leader is a decent person. It's the rest of them
But the rest of them are just
yeah.
horrid.
I
I
know.
think that whole thing when they're sitting at the table and after they're done having the chat and the dude puts his feet on the table and they kind of, I mean, the look they all give him
Ugh.
is like, I can't believe how crude you are putting your
Yeah.
feet on. I mean, the looks across the whole table was fantastic.
Yeah.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
And the dude realizes why they're looking at him funny, and then he pushes the foot off the table. He's like, yeah, I guess okay. In his brain, he's like, okay, now I know why they're looking at you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how nasty the bottom of their shoes are?
Wow. Ooh.
Ugh.
And then he puts it on
Yeah.
on a table.
There's a
Ooh.
lot of animals that they need, so there's stuff on the bottom there. I
Yeah.
agree with Jan. I'll take your boots off
Gross.
at the door.
Off
That's
the
my rule.
table.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
what
dude
my
realizes that.
my grandfather always, he lived on the farm, was a farmer his whole life. He always took his boots off,
Thank you.
like before he came in the house.
Yeah. That just seems like normal. I'm like logic, you don't want your whole house smelling like your horse stalls.
Animals.
It just
Right.
seems like a good plan.
But
Or
those
just
guys
have
are
all
just
that
crude.
throughout your house.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
I'm so freaky. I don't wear shoes in my apartment either.
I don't wear I take my shoes off. Yeah, we just always I'm barefoot. I walk around outside on the ice to take the garbage out because I don't want to put my shoes on.
Jeez, Katie, no wonder you're sick.
It's not icy now. I don't know what you're talking about. I was perfectly healthy for except for
Yeah.
October, most of the winter.
It's
We had
little
like 4 icy days
little
here.
kid
So
germs. It's little kid germs. They just,
Yeah.
they
I
get
know.
them.
I
They
know.
are petri dishes, children.
Yeah.
I
They
need
are.
to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I have too many of them, and I kept trying to get them to move out, and then another one showed up. So I don't.
That's why you only have like a 2-bedroom house, because
Oh.
not all your kids could move back.
It's a 3-bedroom house, and right now this is one of the bedrooms. So it's
Yeah.
not going in. It's my studio. It's not. Yeah. I told my mom the other day. I said she's selling all of the baby stuff she has. She's getting ready to move, and I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with Outlander, but I will be quick. And so she
Yeah.
had all the old baby stuff that she had kept for when she would watch my kids, car seats, little cribs, toys, and stuff. She's selling all of it. I said, thank goodness you keep that stuff around. You're just cursing me. It's just
Yeah.
waiting to happen. And I am not I'm 50 years old. I am not doing this again. So,
No,
anywho.
no
Just
way.
so you know, Katie,
Yeah.
there's ways to prevent that.
Oh, do you know how many forms of birth control I have used in my life?
Yeah.
Like 7.
Don't you remember?
Most
how
of
she
them
was
2 at the
laughing?
same time, sometimes 3 at the same time. Every single one of my children were conceived while using at least
Yeah,
one
you've
form of
forgotten,
birth control.
Jackie.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
She was
Yeah, I did the
laughing. We were
feminine
laughing
thing.
about her husband can't even walk by her and look at her.
Mm. I had my tubes tied this last time. I'm sorry. And I told the doctor, I said, now, if I end up pregnant, I'm going to come back and I'm going to sue you. I said, you burn everything.
Absolutely.
You yank it
I'm doing
out,
that
you
for
tie
that.
it in knots.
Totally.
No more. Okay. So anyway, Outlander. We're having a great
So
Segue.
so we had the dinner with the Outlaws.
And Mr. I'm going to smoke a pipe by the hay thinks he's hilarious and catches
he
the
thinks
thing
he's
on
funny.
fire.
I hate
just-
that guy the most. He's
Oh,
He's
yes.
gross. And
he just looks
Oh
like
yeah.
Ichabod Crane.
We don't
No.
judge people by their looks, but I agree. He looks
No.
creepy as heck. I wouldn't
Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he looks creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie gets really angry.
Yeah.
And
There's
fights
a great
all of them
fight
off
there.
by himself, which I can think is hilarious. He
Yeah.
always seems to do that.
Pardon me.
And then the head guy realizes that he's a warrior and wants him on his crew. I mean, basically.
Yeah.
Well, but he doesn't really get the chance until our good friend Horrocks shows up.
Yeah.
I do love that moment of recognition between he and Jamie when he comes around and they're like, but nobody says anything. You're waiting, and nobody says anything. And of course, he shares his concerns with Claire, and they're worried, and
Right.
just everything gets all kind of thrown together there. The Horrocks of it all.
It's like knowing a secret in the show and nobody says anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what
I'm
made
not
me kind of sad at that point is when he tells Claire, he goes, I thought this was the one place I could be safe. And this happens. And that I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad. Because that's all he wanted to do was go home.
Yeah.
He's been talking about that from the beginning of the whole series. All he wants to do is go home. and then home's not safe either. So
Well, in the beginning, if you remember, he kind of has flashbacks
Yeah, we do
about.
see Lollybrook a lot before they actually get to
get
Lollybrook
there.
because of those
Yeah.
Mhm.
flashbacks.
Yeah.
But Horrocks, this is the second time Horrocks kind of screws them over
Yeah.
because he was supposed to be able to help them with information. That went
Right.
nowhere. Um,
Mm-mm.
and then just his existence here at Lollybrook is a
Right.
threat.
Right.
Um, but I do like. I'm going to go off that because I do like this episode in particular and the next one because we really see this friendship and sisterhood grow between Claire and Jenny with
Jenny.
all of
Yeah.
this other mess going on. It
Right.
is really kind of beautiful this entire episode when it comes to those two.
Yeah,
Although I do love all the wives' tales that we all hear when we're pregnant. Of if you carry high, it's a girl. If you carry low, it's a boy. If you and we
right.
did the same thing. We even have ultrasounds now. There's no guessing, but we all still did. I bet I'm having a boy, or I bet I'm having a girl. So it is fun to listen to her
Yeah.
guess and
Yeah.
Claire
Right.
listening. Sure, sure. That's how you know.
Yeah. That's totally how it's done.
Well, see, I was walking backwards the day of conception, and so no, I don't know. But we have this great camaraderie and sisterhood with these two as Jenny is preparing for having a child, and I love the talk between them two. Jenny assumes that Claire is trying to have babies and can't, and is just like giving her advice.
Right.
So, what do you guys think about that? What this, as far as them being sisters and the entire adventure of childbirth? Do you think they did a good job on that? I'm still astounded at the belly that they give these women who are not pregnant that makes them
Yeah.
look very
They
pregnant.
really are realistic. I mean, they
Yes.
do a really good job of that.
Yeah, they do.
I just like the whole conversation she has with her. You know, she explains, she goes, kind of asks her, tell me what it feels like to be pregnant. And so she starts to have that whole conversation with her about what it feels like. And
Mhm.
it's funny because when she talked about how, like, a little flutter, and I'm like, I remember that. That's the weird thing is like, that's so
Yeah.
true. I remember that. And then it feels like they're tugging. I'm like, I remember that too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so weird because whoever
Yeah.
wrote that had to be a woman because no guy's gonna know that. So I'm like,
No.
that's the way they wrote that was perfect. I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah. I think so too.
So, but the whole thing about them wanting to come back, I don't know about that.
Thank you. That's the one part I don't get.
I'm
You
like,
know, sometimes they
I'm
want
not
to go
sure
back
about
and
that.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
not.
not thinking that's true, Jenny, but okay.
I don't. Maybe she means that like they want to come back to the safety of a woman, of like their mother. You know, their mother
Maybe.
takes care of you. Maybe it's that security. Because as a man, especially in this time, everything is up to him, whether he likes it or
Yeah.
not. Taking care of your family's up to you, making sure you have a land, house. You know, they build their own houses. They aren't buying
Right.
houses. You know? So
Right.
Right.
it could be in that sense that she means. But Jackie, I'm with you. When he's
I
like,
was like,
sometimes they want to go back in. I'm like,
no. I guess I didn't really understand. I'm like, I don't know about that. Okay. But
my
I just
brain
did
is
like
trying
that
to
whole
figure
thing.
out
It was nice.
how that wouldn't work. I don't know why.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think so, Jenny.
Maybe I'm just too literal though, so I don't know. Real quick, I want to say hi to a couple of people. Lorraine Gathagan are here listening to us. Hello. Stacy Chadwell, also, evening, she says.
Hey.
Cynthia was very excited to see Alex joining us because, you know, we have great conversations, but it's good to get some new blood in here, you know. Some
Blood,
new
Yeah.
opinions,
Of
some
course.
new thoughts, some new ideas.
Absolutely.
Someone else who goes like this when they see Charles. So it's really good stuff. So
So Alex, did you get to meet Charles when you were at the whatchamacallit?
when you were at
The
Sassenach,
convention.
Yeah.
Sassenach? Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Oh. Does
Yeah.
he smell good?
You know, I didn't notice. I didn't honestly smell anything. It sounds weird to say, but I honestly didn't notice a scent.
you know, I bet you they're encouraged not to use anything heavy
Probably.
smelling so that people are allergic to certain perfumes,
True.
colognes, and
Probably.
such.
That could be.
Bet you.
Yeah, all the times that I've been to Outlander conventions, I've not noticed that any of them even the girls too have ever worn any cologne or perfume or
Yeah,
fragrance that's like really strong. If
Just
that's
they've ever
clean.
true.
worn anything, it's been very like mellow.
Yeah, because not Nell, not Izzy. I mean, yeah, nobody had any.
No,
And you know what? Nell looks like somebody who would smell a little flowery to me, like
yes,
flowers, and nothing. So you're absolutely right. I didn't even think
nothing.
about that.
That's
Yeah.
right, Alex. But I still want to smell them.
She's obsessed with smelling him.
I want to smell him, and I want to put my hand on his chest, like right in the
Obsessed.
middle.
Oh,
So when are you gonna do this, Jan?
I don't know. I got to figure out how to make some money so I can go.
You and me both. Well, I'll tell you what. If I
Amen,
come up with
sister.
a foolproof plan, I'll share it with you,
Oh,
Jan.
I
Yeah,
already
share it with me
know.
too.
I already know how to make the money. Okay, you can
Okay.
sell blood.
Ooh,
Not in my small town. I can't. There isn't even a Red Cross here.
I know,
wow.
but I'm just
really?
saying that's how I'm making like extra money is that you can sell your blood.
Well,
Wow.
maybe once I actually get a vehicle, because there is one in Fort Wayne, but that's
Yeah,
a bit of a drive and one heck of a walk. So I'm
yeah.
going to have to
So
wait.
there you go.
There you go.
Gas money. All right.
The first time I ever did it was I made $125.
See,
Wow.
I've never sold my blood, but I used to donate it every whatever
Oh,
weeks
you
you're
sold
allowed to
that.
do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I have not rare blood, but there's an illness that toddlers get that I never got. So my blood is earmarked for infants, babies, newborns.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
So that's my one prideful thing I can say. Ha ha
Oh,
ha.
okay.
But I can't here because there's no flipping Red Cross. I need a card.
Well,
mm,
Any.
oh well.
Sorry, that's right. Be good, give blood, even if they don't pay you, because it does help. And they're
Yes.
exactly.
always looking for somewhere. They always
that's
are.
true. They are.
Um, so
Hey, here's the one.
speak.
Can I mention one thing I thought was really funny about that whole baby part when they were talking? Is when she was
Absolutely.
about ready to have the baby, and she goes, "I want a dram," and she goes, "Well, the baby will come out drunk. Well, then they'll come out a true Scott." I
That's right.
started rolling.
That was
That's
That's
funny.
That was the
funny.
best line in this whole episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was
that
great.
is.
I'm like, okay, you go,
It's
Jenny.
no.
That's
That's
funny.
really good. And
I
the
like that.
drugs you can get
Great.
when you are having a child are sometimes excellent. So she is. I understand why she just fine. You make me feel better. I don't care if the baby feels good too.
Well,
Let's
she's
all get
using
in on this.
epidural.
Yeah.
That's her epidural, man.
Yeah, there you go.
True.
There you
Right?
go. My first one was a 24-hour labor, and they couldn't find the anesthesiologist. So I understand that she wants some
Absolutely.
painkiller.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Oh, but it's like almost the whole show is them going back and forth about having the
Yeah.
baby, about what it's like to have the baby, to be pregnant.
Yep.
And the concern in Claire's eyes when she's trying to turn the child and it's
Yeah.
not working. And I love that Jenny can see it in her eyes. It's not working, isn't it?
Right.
Which takes the pressure off of Claire, I think, of giving her bad news. And
Mhm.
I think we forget too that there weren't other options there. It's not like
No.
we're gonna rush her for an emergency C-section.
Right.
She's gonna be having a footling, which is my favorite new word of the day. A footling, whether she likes it or not, and she just sort of takes it in stride. That is a
Right.
strength.
Yeah.
That's yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, labor
That
is
was
scary.
that whole thing was a little bit different in the book.
Yeah.
True.
It's clear in the book is not as strong and as versed in nursing as they make her on the quote as on the show. And the
Mm.
woman actually does come and help them. The nurse, where they're here, she didn't show up. So that was a little different than the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it played well out on the television and
Yeah.
really saves us one more character to keep straight in our head because
Right.
this is already
Yeah.
a very busy episode with new faces.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I could understand why they went another direction. But,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, Jackie, we do kind of miss out on. But it does make Claire not necessarily more knowledgeable, but more confident in her lack of
Mm.
knowledge. We're going to do this together one way or the other,
Yeah.
which I did like. I appreciated that.
Hmm.
You don't want a nurse who's
Yeah.
got fear on her face. That's all I can tell you.
No.
What's going on there? Hell if I know. We're all in trouble.
I know it. So
but
what does this move into? I don't remember what it moves into after that.
Well, they kind of go back and forth between the watcher and the childbirth because the childbirth
Right,
is at least a day. She's going in one day and it's not born until the following almost
right,
evening. So we're talking about a good, which I appreciate, 24 hours of labor. Um,
right,
and they're going back and forth between Jamie and Ian having kind of a chat about why he puts up with the watchers, and
right,
that's where he kind of explains, "I'm happy to see some guys, you
right.
know."
Yep,
It's worth a little hay or
right.
straw. Is it hay or straw?
And then he explains to him about Horrocks and how he wants the money. And then there's some money that he was supposed to be inherited, so he was going to use that to pay him off.
Right.
And I think that kind of goes into that whole conversation between him and Claire about her not having been able to have babies. At least
Yeah.
that's what she thinks, right?
And that's
And
a
I
rough
like how he
transition.
says that. You mean with Frank? I mean, and then it all clicked with him. Oh, you tried that before with Frank. You're like, oh, Jamie.
He does
Yeah,
sort of forget that she was married before, and it's
right.
possible she
Yeah.
may have had intercourse with her
Yeah.
husband.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
You're like, oh yeah, Frank.
I've got bad news for you. Um,
Bad news.
so no, it is sad because I don't think it's something that Claire really worried about much, obviously with their circumstances. But with
Right. Didn't
seeing
even think of
Jenny
it.
and how having children affects her and knowing that she's not going to be able to give and Ian and knowing she's not going to be able to or feeling that she's not going to be able to give that to Jamie.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from somebody who can't stop having babies, I understand why the other side would be just as painful.
It's
And
painful. I
yeah,
went through a lot of that. And I think it was interesting how, I mean, Sam really did a really good job of trying not to look. I mean, you could tell from the facial he was disappointed, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I,
Gave her a good face, so it didn't make her feel bad, and told her, I don't want you to feel in any pain, and that's why it's okay. And then when she left, the disappointment came on. I'm like, oh, that was just he did such a good job of that. It was really a good scene,
He's
actually.
such a great actor.
Yeah,
yeah.
just the sadness of not having it because he was all excited. That was the whole point. Was he wanted to be a Lollybrook, fill the kids, this house with our kids, and he was talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And then now the realization that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But his words were perfect. The
yeah,
writers, both Diana and the writers for the show, seemed to
mhm,
give him the perfect words, which is why we all love him and
yeah,
wish that our men could stand up to his words. That's
He
okay.
is
We
the
love them for other reasons. But
oh
but
man.
yeah, that her health, her safety is more important to him, and that's what really matters because he can't bear to see her in pain. He can bear his
Her in
own pain, but he
pain,
can't
but
bear
not with
hers.
yours. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I mean, just
yeah,
beautiful, beautiful.
it was beautiful. It was a beautiful scene. That whole scene was just really, really good. I enjoyed that
Mhm.
scene. And you're like, oh, and you could feel the sadness in him. You could feel it. You're like, oh, Jamie. That's all he ever wanted was kids. So you could just feel the sadness. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Katrina does a fantastic job too of portraying the realization of what she believes to be true.
Right.
She's giving this information to someone that she didn't expect to love. She didn't expect to want to have a family with him.
Right.
And
Mhm.
now it really does rip her up knowing that
Right.
that's something he wants and she's not going to be able to do that.
Be able to do that.
I
Yeah.
just think that
The
scene right there.
realization. Yeah.
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 One of my sons, they have to, they've had two, or they're gonna have two, but they have one, an IVF child, and they're having another IVF child. So, you know, it's really, I really feel their pain, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep.
having to deal with that. So that was something that was really relatable. You know how
Very. It
you
was
know,
very
even though
relatable.
we're
Yeah.
talking about, 200 years ahead or whatever it is, I forget. Um, you really feel the pain that both of them are feeling.
Yep.
Got to have a lot of empathy for them, at least. I think that's why
Yeah.
the show really um, has done a great job, is because a lot of the same themes, even though it's, so far behind, uh, years wise, we still deal with that pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, sorry, we're getting all kind of depressy here. We
Yeah.
are We are happy for the children we have. We're sad for the children that we don't think are coming. But I think that we could say one thing: even if they didn't have children, there would still be a lot of adventure and joy in their lives,
For
Sure.
sure.
and
Oh yeah.
so
Well,
there is that hope to look forward to.
the way that they're having to live to, it's we're Jamie and uh they're they're having to they got one horse to ride anywhere on, and
Yeah,
how would they live if they had children at that point? They're even though they're at his family home, uh things are still very unsettled. So whatever.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. The
And we
uncertainty of
can
it all.
still relate to that even now,
Yeah.
when people are in this
Oh yeah.
situation.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Oh, that was me being loud. Sorry.
So, okay, what's next?
Well,
We
now we
go
get the
back to
Horrocks meeting
uh,
where
the,
they're gonna Jamie is meeting up with Horrocks to pay off the
yeah,
blackmail.
yeah,
And that meeting goes just about as well as you might think.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. You
Sam,
kind
exactly
of
the way
predict
you thought
exactly
it
what's
would.
going to happen. Yeah.
this
Yep.
might get me there, but let me tell you what, once I get there, I'm going to need a little spending money. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to say that Stephen Cree's moment is this moment when
It is
Horrocks
good.
falls away and he's sitting there with the sword kind of shaking
Shaking. Yeah.
and never thought he'd have to kill a man again after the war.
Right.
He is just in shock
Just
at his own
France.
actions, and I
Yeah.
love the way he played that.
Hmm.
Yeah, he did so good. So
It was
good.
really good.
And he is such a character, in reality. He's a funny guy and everything. You think, how can he be so serious?
He's
Yeah.
just that good.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah. He is such a
You know,
goofball, though, in real life.
oh my
He's a
God.
goofball.
What were you
He's,
going to say,
he's something
Alex?
else in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, so that's over with. The guy's dead.
The, and then he says, well, we got to get a shovel. It's just like,
Yeah.
next. Next
Yeah.
fun
Move
thing
on
we
to
have
the
to
next
deal with.
thing. But don't
Hmm.
they go back in and talk? I think
Well, yeah, Sam goes back in, and I think Jackie just froze right
I
in.
think Jenny's starting to have the baby, right? By the time
Yeah.
this all is going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all in the living room, and that guy starts talking really rude about her, how loud she is. I'm like, I just want to smack this dude. I so want to smack the dude.
Yeah.
And he's
Like,
just rude about it, you know?
yeah,
I
it's
think
like
any
you
guy who
don't even understand.
No,
Yeah.
I think any guy who does that, what you do is you find a nice big fat jelly bean and you say, hold still, I have to put this somewhere. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not genetic or technically correct, but there's a pee hole. And it would be awfully
Yeah.
uncomfortable pushing this back out when we're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. He was just so rude
Absolutely. You
about
got
it.
a you got a good idea
That
there.
whole situation right there was rude. And I think it's interesting about the main guy kind of looks at him like, you're just being rude. Hands Jamie the money knowing that what they did with the hay. I think he's trying to amend some of that.
Yeah.
That he knows his people are just rude and
Hmm.
being
Yeah.
crude too. Yeah.
Well, I think he's wanting Jamie to feel like he can come with them. So
Yeah. Trying to butter him up
yeah.
At
slowly.
least, yeah. So at least the one guy is fairly honorable in his own way. He's trying to be.
True.
Hi.
Right. True.
But yeah, so I like,
Hey,
and I love,
be
oh,
quiet. Sorry.
the snake. I love that she found Sawney, and
Funny.
that
Yeah.
was
Yes.
because it gets used later on in the series. And I think
Right.
that's a great
Right.
little yay. We're there.
That's
We
cute.
found something. Um, we don't hear a lot about his older brother, but this is one of the
Mm-mm.
moments that we do kind of get a
Right.
little background on him. More than, well, not as much as we do in the books, but more than we have so far.
Right.
And it's a sweet little
What?
conversation
Hey,
that's kind of
down.
just inserted.
Here's my son.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi,
hey.
listen,
Hi.
we're talking about Outlander. Did you want to join and give your thoughts?
Yeah.
Because your mom says
He's like,
you
no.
guys
I haven't
no.
watched much of the show, but I'm starting it.
Oh, okay, all right.
He's
I didn't want him to
cute.
feel left out.
He's cute, Jackie.
Yes.
Yeah. is hilarious. That girl cracks me up.
Oh my god.
I know you
Oh,
guys
not
would be so
again.
sad if I wasn't around. Me and my hormones.
Your hormones. Oh, your hormones are hilarious, Jan.
I
Okay.
gotta warn my husband if this is what happens as I get older, he's gonna be in a lot of
I
trouble.
know.
Um,
I have a new neighbor, and I was talking to him today. He's like in his 20s. He's the
Oh
cutest
my.
thing ever. Oh my god,
Jan.
he is the cutest thing.
Jan's gonna be out there with her binoculars as he mowing the lawn today. Oh
Yeah, I
yeah, it's
know.
gonna,
Yeah,
gonna
she's
take off
she's
that
the
shirt.
couple next door right there.
You know the lawn.
The
please.
binoculars. Watching all the neighbors.
Jan's gonna buy him a swimming pool, so he'll have a reason to be in trunks a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jan. I'm picking on you so bad.
that's all right. That's all right.
That's hilarious.
If it's the truth, I mean,
That'll be the next GoFundMe. Get Jan's neighbor a
Yeah,
pool.
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Make some money for him. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
Yes.
done.
Okay,
Ooh.
what's next?
Outlander. We were watching this show called
Yeah.
Outlander, and
Oh, and then they do the Sawney thing, and then he goes off, and that whole scene where he's sitting at the table with the guy asked. So I haven't seen Horrocks in a while. I
Yeah,
can do math. 3 guys go out, 2 come back. I get the math.
I don't know where he could have
Yeah.
gone.
Where could he be?
Yeah.
And that whole scene when he just sits there and just explains what happens. He goes, "Yeah, he threatened me, so I ran him through." I mean, the eye contact, like just straight pan. It was great.
Yeah.
I love that scene. It's fantastic.
well, they're all robbers and killers, so they understand those things,
True.
all of them.
True.
And Ian's just kind
That's
of
a good
holding his
point.
breath to see what happens next while he's saying it.
Yeah, like is
And
it
like,
gonna
taking
erupt
bread
into
like nothing's gonna happen. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing scene. I love that. So I ran him through. Whatever. Like it was
Alex,
nothing.
feel
like casual?
yeah,
Well,
Alex, just
casual thing.
interrupt us because we get going. Really, you got to interrupt 'cause
Okay.
we won't shut up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
Don't
tells
be
him
don't be afraid, Alex.
All right.
she I'm scary. Yeah, so
No.
but he like knows and he's like, okay, cool. Somebody needed to kill him, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But that leaves this empty space and somebody's got to fill it.
Right.
Yep.
I'm on the fence about Ian coming along because I
Yeah.
understand why Ian felt like he needed to come on. He's there to watch his Chiefs back. I understand that,
Mhm.
but I feel really bad that he went
Yeah.
because and then I
And
you know it's very
something is. I mean, when I saw this for the first time, I remember thinking something bad is going to happen. You
Yeah.
know?
well,
you just
and they're
know
talking
it.
about this is a great place to what they say. I'm thinking of a vocabulary word and I forgot it for a when you catch somebody. What was it?
An ambush.
An ambush. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This
Mhm.
is a great place for an ambush. And they cut to Jamie looking around going, yeah,
There is.
this is a
Yeah.
really good place for us to get ambushed.
Yeah.
And then like no sooner than he realizes it, then they're ambushed. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens so fast. There's no preparation
Very.
for it. Anyway, I
They
skipped
actually
ahead to
played
that
that
because
whole thing out.
that
Did you
baffles
guys
me.
see that extra for that? They actually played that whole ambush out and cut that whole scene.
Did
Oh,
they
really?
really? And they cut that?
Mhm.
No, I'm
Really?
It's in the
find
cut
that.
scene, yeah, where they did the whole ambush, the whole thing.
Is
They
that in the
filmed that.
DVD? Is that in the DVD
Really?
Yeah,
extras?
and then they cut all of that out,
Gonna have to watch it.
realizing it would have made the episode too long. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
why they
that's
did it, but yeah.
probably.
Probably.
They
Yeah.
have to be so careful about, how long these episodes are. Did you guys hear that not only, June 1st, we get to, see the double crew there with both
Oh.
Outlander and Blood of My Blood, but then
Mhm.
they're going to release the DVD for years or season 7 that day too.
That's tomorrow.
That's the 27th.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow.
I
Yeah.
thought-
Mine's coming in the mail tomorrow.
Oh,
Nice.
Well, there
Because
you go.
I thought they said the first. The
Mm-mm,
same
it's already been
day.
shipped. Yeah.
Oh,
Outlander Day is the first, and so that's
Yeah.
why they're doing that special thing. I'll be
Yeah.
watching my son get married on the first, so I apologize, but there will be no
Really?
special. Yeah.
Oh,
aw.
congratulations
Oh,
to
that's
your
fun.
son.
Yes, thank you.
Cool.
He's my one and only son.
Well, I'm
Oh,
sure that it'll be recorded and they'll keep playing it,
Oh,
for
hell yeah. I'll
six
be on
months.
YouTube
oh
5
yeah.
minutes. I'll be at the reception after they've done serving the food and everybody's talking in the corner, and I'll be watching it on my phone
She'll
on
be
YouTube. I
watching it on her
guarantee
phone.
it.
Don't
I
mind me. I'm only watching Outlander.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so excited
yeah.
that they're doing something like this, though. We miss
Yeah.
them so much that it's going to be wonderful just to see them all together.
Oh
So
Mm.
has this been taped previous? I'm assuming this has
No,
been
it's
taped
live.
previous.
Is it
No, they
live?
said it was
yeah. I
I
live.
think
think
it's live. I
no,
don't
I
think
don't
it
think
is.
it's live because they're
I don't
showing
think
us
it's live.
commercials with all the group there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
it
been
looks like
pumping this for the
me
Okay,
last
too.
week, so I think this would happen way before
I
now.
I could be wrong, but I remember them saying it was going to be live.
It's
Yeah, I don't
probably
think
going to
that.
be hosted by someone live as we watch it. That's
Yeah,
what they do a lot
Right,
for like
right,
Star
right,
Trek
probably.
Day and
Okay.
Star Wars
Yeah.
Day, and they
right.
record
Okay.
the chat, and then somebody's going, "All right, now let's watch the part where so and so talks about this," and then they
Right.
cut
Right.
to the clip.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
we'll have to
Yeah, I
All
think
see.
it's
right,
gonna be so
everybody
fun to
jump on
see.
me. I'm going to sit here and just be quiet for a minute.
Sure, I believe you. So uh, so I did sort of skip to the end, but I skipped the part where Jenny does have her baby boy who happens
Yeah.
to be a
Yes.
girl.
Yeah.
Um,
That's so
and
funny.
little Maggie Ellen Murray. She's so pretty.
Hmm.
Cute.
It's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
cute name. And I
Very
like that
cute.
she explains it to us that the Margaret is her grandmother, and then we all know where Ellen came from. So
Right.
it's
Right.
really, we get introduced to the baby, and then we see Ian coming back, and they edit and cut that so well, so you think that Ian is being carried by Jamie,
By
and
Jamie.
that
Yeah.
they've made it,
Yeah.
and you're like, no, it's the other rude dude
Yeah.
Yeah.
who wants credit for walking Ian home. I did a really good thing. I couldn't leave him there. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things are
Not good.
not good, which leaves us with a bit of a conundrum. We have a
Mm.
baby. We have two women at home. We have Ian, who is going to need some tending to after
Yep.
that
A
long
new
walk,
a new leg.
and we have
Mhm.
a missing
Yeah.
Jamie. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just
Right.
gone. All we know are redcoats took him, and those are the one group of folks we do not want
No.
No.
near our Jamie.
No.
No.
I think I talked
Ugh.
a lot, even though I was going to try not to and rest my voice, and I'm going to pay for it later. Did I miss anything good that we need to really dig into on this episode?
I like their goodbye kiss was awesome.
Yeah.
That
It was
was
a good
very
kiss.
nice. Yes, I
It was
agree.
very nice. I love the shadowing and all the lighting they always do with his half face. They do that a lot
Yeah.
with him. I've noticed throughout
Yeah.
this whole series. I don't know if you guys noticed that a lot of it's shadowed with his half his face because he's got such a pretty
Mm.
face anyways. But they
Yeah.
just kind of do that whole shadowing thing, which is really pretty.
Well, I think, him being a model, I
True.
think, you see so much of him modeling, and
Yeah.
doing things. He really knows his face,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he knows how to make his face look incredible on this show.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
They
I
do.
think you're right,
He knows
Jenny.
his angles too.
Yeah, that's
Totally.
what I mean. He
Yep.
knows
He knows
his
the
angles.
angles. Yeah.
I like
As
them
does Katrina.
angles.
I think he grew into this whole modeling thing. I don't think it was something that he really thought he.
Yeah.
No.
No, because when he talks
And
about
then
his
all of a
time
sudden he just grew into
beforehand,
that really well.
yeah, because he
Yes.
talks about bartending, he talks about
Yeah.
being a job and actor, taking what little job he could get.
Yeah.
But he never says, and then I did photo shoots with Esquire
Nope.
or anything like
Never
Yeah.
does
that.
modeling. Mm-mm.
I think he's just grown into himself. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
For sure.
definitely see it after he got on the show. It's
Yeah.
like he really
Hold on one second.
he has a lot of confidence.
No,
Yeah,
I
I think he
agree.
grew into that doing Outlander. And I think some of it had to do with him having to do some of that promotional being on Outlander. And he just realized that, okay, I guess I can do that.
Yeah.
Pretty good at that.
We
You know what I mean?
lost you.
Yeah.
I
Um,
think the fact that he was a kid who wore glasses, who wasn't really comfortable with himself growing up, has helped keep him humble now. He
yeah.
knows we all adore him, but you never see him walking around going, "Yes, I am so attractive," and everyone. No,
Yeah.
he doesn't do any of that baloney.
No.
No.
Which I think also plays off really well with the modeling he does, because he doesn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I've heard, probably Jackie's probably heard this too, this interviews that he talks about. He says that when you see him, he's really playing a character.
Mhm.
And he says that, kind of like the the true Sam kind of stands behind um that extrovert. It's not
Mm.
really him.
Right.
And so he's always, an actor. He's
Yeah,
always acting,
True.
you
Every time he
know.
steps out of the
So
house, totally.
True.
right. And
yeah.
I
so
agree with
he
that.
Mhm.
he we never really see
No.
Sam.
No.
Yeah.
You always see the actor.
I
Yeah.
think we do get a glimpse of who he really is, though, by his the words that I can't say, philanthropy. Sorry,
Yeah.
and like his charity.
Philanthropy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
thank you.
That's
My brain is
that's a
not doing words today.
but that's a
Okay.
totally different thing, Katie. He's saying that when he's on camera, or if you see interviews, he is acting. He,
Right, no, and
he
I
said,
understand what you're saying, Jan.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
like the inner person, what he cares about. I think we do see
Yeah.
that
Oh,
with
sure.
what
For
he
sure.
does. So,
Well,
and
yeah.
and he should keep part of himself private. He should be
Yeah.
Always.
allowed
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be himself behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is an element of having to be on when
Yes.
people know you when you're in public.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
by no way am I like comparing myself to Sam, but like when I go to conventions and people recognize me, I'm still me, but I'm probably
Mm.
slightly more polite, and like if I'm tired, I try to wake up so I can give
Yeah.
them a
Actually,
moment.
don't. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I
Yep.
understand.
Yeah,
It's
for sure. It's
Melissa
kind of
saw the
similar
raw
as
me
being
though.
in like an office environment. Like you are one way in an
Yes.
office, and then a certain way,
Right.
at home.
Yes,
Right.
that's perfect. That's a
We
perfect
all are like
comparison.
that. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
Different
think it's
facets of
more
who we are.
extreme, for him.
well, absolutely, because again, he's out there. I mean,
Yeah.
most of the world knows who Sam Hewn is. If you have a television and have ever seen a commercial on
Yeah.
Stars or YouTube, people know who he is between the
Right.
movies, between the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate that, and I hope that he is surrounded by folks who allow him to be him when he doesn't have to be
Yeah.
Sam the actor in front of us.
Yeah.
I
Right.
hope
I
so.
think that media guy is really good for him. The tall, gray-haired guy with the
Oh,
glasses.
Steve.
Steve was
Yeah.
super nice. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Steve was
think
great.
he's super nice, and I think he protects Sam a lot, which I think
Mhm.
is wonderful.
Yeah. But he listens too. I will say he's the one who I walked up to him and I said, "Look, I have a really tiny YouTube channel, but there's a lot of scammers out there, and I was just wondering if you'd help me make like an update." And he was like, "For what?" And I explained it to him. And he's like, "Oh yeah, for sure. Hold on." And so Sam came over so he could sit down and be in the picture. So I can't say enough nice things about Steve. So
Yeah.
I agree. Alexandra, are you going to be at the gathering again this year?
Hopefully, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's the
As of
one
right
in
now.
Kansas, right?
Yeah. Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh,
Mhm.
Missouri. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. How about you, Jackie? Are you gonna come? You gonna come? You're right. Come on. What if
I
we
would love to
kidnap
go.
Why?
you?
I
I have
I
another
would
trip
like
already
drive
planned, so I don't
over.
know if I'm gonna be able to afford to. But yeah.
I could drive over, Katie, from Ohio. We're not really too far from each other. And then
No,
we could
no.
drive over in your new purple car.
I will be if I have it on. I do plan to drive rather than fly because it will be cheaper, and I will be
Yeah.
able to stay one day less, which will be cheaper for me overnight. I'm so excited.
Missouri is not really that far from Indiana.
No, it's an 8-hour
Really?
drive from
Oh,
Fort
that's not
Wayne
terrible.
to Kansas City. So
Yeah.
get up in the morning, drive, be there in time for registration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's not terrible. If I could drive, I would rather drive, but I kind of have no choice but to fly.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be a long drive for you.
Yeah. too
All
Yeah,
short.
right,
yeah.
so we got 6 minutes, ladies.
All right. Well, how many? I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. I'm gonna cough. You guys give it stars. I'll be right back.
Okay. I say 4 butts.
Yeah, I'd say 4 kilts. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give it 4 stars.
I'm gonna give it 4.5 because I really like the sisterly thing, but I'm not
yep.
giving
Yeah.
it a 5 simply
Yeah.
because nothing else really all that
I know.
exciting
Yeah.
happened
No,
in
there wasn't
this.
as
Right,
much substance to this episode.
Yeah.
right.
I think if those guys, the robber guys or whatever you call them, I think if they would have expanded on that just a little bit, I think we would have enjoyed it. Maybe showing some,
Okay.
you know. But I just don't think this was a good episode.
It
And
wasn't.
there
It
wasn't
wasn't
even
good for what we expect from Outlander.
yeah, and
Yes.
there wasn't any loving going on either.
True that.
It's
Just
really
the one
hard.
kid.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to give them 5 stars when we don't see Sam's rear end,
I know,
his
but we
boobies,
saw
or
we
his
saw
back.
it pretty good
It's-
last week.
Last week
Last
was
Jan, be
good.
careful what you wish for, because in a couple of episodes, we're
I
going to see a
know,
lot more of
no,
people we don't want to be seeing.
I know, and you know what? You didn't have anybody signed up other than I think maybe Jackie, and I signed myself up for those 2
Why did you do
episodes.
that, Jan? I'm
What?
surprised.
And I don't like those episodes, but I wanted somebody to be on those episodes because I think it's important that we go
Mm.
over those. But
I'm
I think
those
not
are
those
the
positive
where
I
episodes are
have you for
extraordinary.
both of them.
I
I
think
know I
that
have you for one, but I'm not positive I have you for both.
okay,
Check the post and make sure because that is accurate.
okay,
Uh, but I
all
can't bring
right,
it up right now, so I
yeah,
can't check it.
that's all
But
right.
Okay.
it is full. So everybody check the post if you're sure you're going to be on the next ones. There's a post on the community post for this channel that
Yeah,
has the
I
Yep.
list of
found it.
everything.
I
Okay,
found
cool.
it today.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Fantastic. I think that's all we have. We actually have time to spare.
Oh my
Wow,
Jan,
goodness.
that's
Whoa,
got to be a
4 minutes.
first.
would you like to just like sit here and talk about how great Sam's rear end is?
I
I feel
got a
like
I
question for you guys.
oh sure,
Okay.
Jackie, yes.
Did anyone hear? I just seen this on Facebook today. I want to know if it's true or not that Richard Rankin's getting married.
I
I'm not.
have
It
I,
was
not.
a thing that he was going into a shop picking out his kilt to get married. Does anyone else know
Uh,
that? I'm just
Okay.
curious because I
I
haven't
don't
heard anything
follow.
about that.
Yeah, I don't follow him on
Uh,
media. So
Facebook is
I
usually really tough to believe. Sure.
yes.
I know that's kind of what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I think
I do.
almost everything on Facebook we shouldn't really take verbatim.
Yeah, it should take for with a grain of salt
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
sure.
the only thing that I think that is real on Facebook is I know that the author, what's her name,
Diana Gabaldon. Yeah,
Diane,
Yeah.
she actually is on there and she does put
Oh
posts
really?
on there. That's her.
Oh, I see something. Well, that's YouTube 4 years ago. Outlander star Richard Rankin will get married next month. I
Oh
don't think he
god.
did.
Yeah,
yeah. There
I
you
No, I
go.
don't think so either.
Yeah,
Do a
I
deep
didn't
dive
think
for you,
so.
Jan, but I don't know. I don't
I was like, I don't
know.
think
Alex,
so, but
Alex.
Yeah.
just wondering.
I do. I love Richard. Roger is one of my favorite characters.
He's so
He's
yeah,
good.
he's cute.
He's very cute.
We
He's
adore
very
him.
cute.
I've been very lucky to have met him a couple of times, so over the
Nice.
years, so
Well, there we go. Jealous of
Yeah.
Alexander
Nice.
now.
sorry.
It's okay.
I love it.
I was lucky enough actually to go to LandCon and he was there. And so was Charles.
Were you there this
Wow.
year in France
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah,
Because did you see Vicky? One of the
don't
other
know who
people who come here and chat. So yeah,
I
she's
don't
going to be in
think that she
Scotland.
ever met me.
maybe.
She's going to be in Scotland too. Are you going to Scotland's LandCon as well?
No. I wish, but no.
Okay.
I could
all right.
only
I
I
think
could
I
only do
think
one.
your friend has only been on once, hasn't she? On the chat, Katie?
Who Vicky? Is she?
No, yeah.
No. Well, she's my friend as much as you are
Oh,
my
I
friend.
thought
It's
Been on a couple
people on.
times.
each other. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I don't know nobody. I hope I make friends someday. Um,
Aw,
Oh,
poor baby.
yeah, I feel
And you're
terrible.
sick too.
I,
Poor baby.
I'm sitting here
oh,
sweating like a pig, and I'm going to be coughing like a crazy person when we're done.
don't
But
worry. That
no,
that was me just last week. I actually got a bad sinus infection after coming
oh,
home from Paris, and I was sick for like 2 weeks. So I fully
Well, you
understand
know
how you
what it
feel.
is?
sorry.
It's getting on that damn plane and breathing that germy air.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just recycled air. You can't really help it.
No.
Yep, this is
Yeah.
true.
No matter what you do.
You always got to take an emergency. Whenever you get back from a trip off an air flight, you take an emergency the night you go to bed, an emergency in the
Hmm.
morning. And I've yet to get sick when I do that.
That was
Well,
my
that's
mistake.
good.
I needed to take one of the or two a couple of those.
I'm going to wag my
Before
finger at
before
you.
before we get cut off, Katie, I wanted to tell you your dog.
No, my daughter is adorable. I am sure that's exactly what Jan was going to say, and I cannot agree with her more. She is adorable and brilliant, highly intelligent. I can't, it's a good thing that kids get their smarts from their mothers. No, I'm just kidding. My husband is actually very intelligent too. I just wanted to say thank you for everybody for joining me today. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jan. I'm sorry we got cut off. That is just sort of what happens. Can you see that this meeting has ended? Um, Real quick. Oh, there we are. Let's see. So next week we will have Jan, Cynthia, and Melissa. The week after that we have Cynthia, Jackie, and Jan. And then the final one is Cynthia, Jackie, and Diane. So, and then I've got to start taking season 2 requests. But we will not be starting season 2. I've decided this until after I get back. Actually, after we're done with the prequel, Blood of My Blood. So it's going to be fall before we get to season 2. It is to save my sanity in those few weeks between the end of season 16 and season 16, episode 16, and when I leave for my trip. It just made a little more sense to wait on it a bit. I hope everybody can understand that, and I'm sure you can. I want to say again thank you to Kathy for saying howdy to us, to Cynthia, to Stacy, and I saw at least one, and then Lorraine Gavigan, I know I saw you in here too. But just thanks to everybody for coming by and saying hi. Um, Jesus, I'd better start viewing. Happy Rock Publishing says that. Okay, need a break, baby cat. All right. We will see you tomorrow. If I do not show up live tomorrow, I will post or do something. Maybe even put up a short or two instead. If this gets worse, if I feel like I do right now, I will do my best to be here at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Remember, starting this week, it's at 12 o'clock. And yeah, I'll see you then. Thanks, everybody, for coming by. Thank you to my members for the additional support. Thank you to those of you who have donated directly to the GoFundMe to help make sure that I have a vehicle of some sort. As you know, or as you've heard, I actually have plans to drive myself to the gathering in Kansas City, Missouri later this year. So there are. Sir, there's some plans going up for that. I can appreciate that. Appreciate everybody for coming and viewing, for having questions and comments on the side. Normally I get over to them a little better. Today I'm gonna go lay down, guys. Thanks so much again. Thanks to everybody. If you haven't already, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed and you come to this channel often, you might as well just subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you know when we're up with more videos. And if you are still up and wide awake and ready for more Outlander entertainment, please do check out the playlist below for any videos you may have missed. I'm going to go pass out after taking entirely too much medication. And for some reason, oh wait, because it's Memorial Day, people are setting off fireworks. So I'm going to go listen to that. You guys have a really great rest of your Monday. Happy Memorial Day. Stay safe out there.